Okay, we'll get started with questions for head coach Kurt Miller.
I'll always do
Yeah,
an
okay.
opening statement.
Yeah.
First, I'd like to start by an incredible environment and a special night, not only for the new era, the Sparks, and the start of the 23 season, but even more importantly, big picture wise, having Brittany Griner back with all of us and how important she is to our league, how important she is to Phoenix. Just a remarkable story to have her back in our league and back on the court. I've gotten to know Brittany through USA Basketball, even more personally, and she's just a tremendous human. So I know the league, the sisterhood in the league is so strong, and we are all so happy that she's back. What a special night. For us, can't be more pleased with finding a way after, a nervous start. And, we had 2 points, 5 or 6 minutes in the first quarter, and to score over 50 at halftime and end in your first game of the season in the 90s. Just a credit to our players in the attack mode that they were in. They shared the basketball. We stepped up and made shots. And then I'll give a shout out to our rookie, Isaiah Cook. Without her, we may not be sitting here with this result. Without her first half, when we were struggling, that bench really propelled us, everyone off that bench, but Zaya in particular really made some plays for us in that first half. What a rookie debut for her.
Okay, now we'll get started with questions. Yeah, let's start with
Coach, you mentioned Laya. She looked like she suffered some kind of apparent leg injury and was taken off the court, but you brought her back. Can you give us any update on what happened there and how she's doing?
Yeah, she was cleared to play and cleared to come back in. I'm not sure if it was knee to knee, but she aggravated her knee, but it wasn't something that kept her out the rest of the game. She was cleared.
Just a quick follow-up on that. The team was about to leave 24 when we brought her back. Do you think maybe it wasn't worth it, or did you want her to get some run just to see how that leg was doing?
Yes, exactly. Trying to get her reps right now as a rookie is really important. When she was cleared, our training staff is tremendous. They wouldn't have cleared her if they didn't think she could get back in.
Megan Heisman from the court. She's on your bench. Probably feeling saying you guys have made okay more Tennessee in not about she really did guys being as well. What do you think about her tonight? You guys kept up tonight.
It's exactly what we thought we could get from Carly. Her shooting, her toughness. She is fundamentally where she's supposed to be on both ends of the floor. And so one of the reasons why we waived her was the opportunity to get her back in time as a hardship player, knowing that Azare and Jasmine Thomas were not going to start the year in uniform.
So, Coach, after the early struggle, we just saw you guys push the ball. Is that something that you guys are going to try to lean on, its pace and things like that this year?
We want to be in attack mode. Obviously, Phoenix is hurt by injuries, also played with 9 tonight, including a hardship player. So tempo is important to us anytime. Tempo playing against Phoenix with their injuries was really important. Jordan Canada is not going to get written about a lot tonight because she doesn't show up in the point total, but she set the tone with our pace offensively, and she set the tone defensively with her pressure. Mariah had a good start, but as the game dug in, I thought Jordan Canada was really important to what we did.
Coach, just going back to Zaya a little bit, on draft night, she's kind of raved about, her ability and just, how thrilled you were that you were able to she fell to your selection. Was this performance tonight kind of what you envisioned a little bit, when you drafted her? And then just kind of realistically, what do you think, what do you see in terms of her production, as this season goes on? What kind of role?
I think you see the potential in Zaya. It's unfair to say she's going to be able to do that every night. I think as most rookies have a little bit of roller coaster, and she'll have some streaky moments, throughout this season. But what you saw is the potential that she has So again, she can score at multiple levels. They played zone out of bounds. We hadn't worked on zone from out of bounds. And Zaya made a couple of her threes tonight against the zone out of bounds, which were huge. So just pleased with her start. Again, not going to put that pressure that's what we're going to get every night from any rookie. There's a little bit of ups and downs, but you see the potential.
So, LT was keeping sports. Can you share with us what was going through your mind at the start of the game, the first home game as the head coach was starting?
Yeah. Trying to take it all in and be in the moment. It's a dream to be leading this iconic franchise that gave me the start after a long collegiate career to make the transition to the pro game, Brian Agler and the LA organization. So it was a little surreal. And what I love about this place is I am a basketball junkie and loved it from, an early age. I was one of those guys that could name all 12 players on NBA rosters back, when I was growing up in the 80s. And just to know the history, not only the women and the women's coaches that played here, but the men and the men's coaches that have been in this arena. So it was a surreal moment, but a lot of anxiety for me leading into this game. Like it's like 21st or 22nd year as a head coach, and I was as nervous as I've ever been. But when that ball goes up, it takes, all of a sudden you just settle in and you're in autopilot as a coach and what you do. And despite our start, I've been around long enough to know the game's a bunch, built with a bunch of runs, and that if we could just let the game settle in, that we were going to be okay. And, to our credit, dug ourselves out from a double-digit deficit to a double-digit lead. So, really pleased with our tenacity that way to stay with it.
Thank you. Coach Yonder Davis with the Southern California News. My question was going to be sort of about what you were talking about, but what does it say about your team that you can be down 11 points early and then win a game by 20 plus points?
Yeah, I think it's this league. And, fortunately, I have veterans in that locker room that have been around way too long, that they know that this game has flow and this game has runs, and that's why I brought in as many veterans into camp to win a spot and be a part of this team. But I give them a lot of credit. They could have gone away early, and that lead could have gotten away from us, that we could have never felt like we could battle back, but they really did. And again, it was that second unit. It was Zaya Cook, it was Carly Samuelson, it was Joyner Holmes got a couple offensive rebounds there when we were struggling to get extra possessions. So please, that bench really sparked us.
Thank you. Coach, whether it's incoming, positivity, new positivity, and area, how important is it to have an experienced point guard like that?
Yeah, I think, we get made fun of on social media that we have too many veteran point guards, but not that I'm reading social media, but, again, Jordan bided her time. And with Jasmine Thomas coming back from her first major injury of her pro career, with 2-3 players that are true pros that are out for the year for us, we have to play some Lasia Clarendon at the 3. So Jordan's huge. And I know she feels my confidence from day one that we've handed her the ball. She's acted as a captain, before games. And so I'm really, really pleased. And, we're going to give her confidence that, there's going to be nights where she's going to make a lot more shots than she did tonight. But she's played really well. She's my quarterback right now.
Speaking of win LA times, for to have Zaya be able to make those plays on something like you've been needing to work on, what does that say about her basketball IQ, even at a rookie level, to be able to make it in this league as a rookie, make even what does that say about her mentality?
What I think is unique about Zaya is playing at South Carolina. She's played in some of the biggest games over the last 4 years. She started every game at South Carolina. They, have been on and off the best team in college basketball in recent years. She was their leading scorer this year. She's not afraid of the big moment because she's played in big games, and she's mentored and coached so well by Coach Staley that, she's ready. She's ready for this moment. Not all players coming into the WNBA have played in the type of games that Zaya Cook has played in.
Time for one more question. We'll go to Amanda.
Along with the case, he also took care of the ball. I know on the first three quarters, he only had 4 turnovers. I was just wondering, like, how was that?
Huge. And thank you for asking. That was one of our major keys going into the game, is that it's so hard in this league to guard live ball turnovers. And so we talked about, execution is our first, offensive execution is our first line of defense. And if we don't turn the ball over, we have the ability, even when we miss shots, to get our defense set. So amazing first night, May basketball, warn everybody in the Hollywood seats to always be alert because balls are flying everywhere. So for us in May basketball to only turn the ball over 6 times is pretty incredible first night out. And I give a lot of credit because the ball's in those veteran guards' hands, Lasia, Jordan, they're in their hands a lot.
This type of season opener, not only great performance from you, but just the emotions of the day from that.
Yeah, I mean, first of all, how great was the welcome of BG? Just the atmosphere was really, really special, and we played against her in the preseason game. But yeah, the official opener was great. This has been a hard week for me, for sure. But I'm very proud of myself today. I've been through this. I believe in myself. I don't want to get emotional, but it's been a very difficult week for me.
What's up, guys? What are you guys' thoughts just on the performance of Zaya out there? Rookie coming in, first game, this crowd and this energy. What's your thoughts on her performance?
Honestly, everyone knows what Zaya can do. What I love about her is really her innocence. She's so surprised by things that don't go well. But I love it. She's kind of just a ball of positive energy. She wants to do well. She wants to be ready. And for her to come in here and just be herself is amazing. And that's really the types of people that we have on this team. I know Carly's not gonna expound on, what she feels and stuff, but like, people are out here working hard without any guarantees. That goes unnoticed every day. And we have a group of people, especially tonight, no matter how they made it here, that have earned their spot in this win tonight.
Hey, Nneka. I think, first of all, yes, it was a great game, amazing energy. I think we all kind of noticed there were some jitters at the beginning. What went into those jitters, you think, and how did you specifically help settle the team?
I mean, for me particularly, I was just rushing in the beginning. You just kind of want the game to get there. And it was funny because like when the game got there, I told Chine, I was like, oh, this is the most relaxed I felt in like 15 days because the game is just there and you can just play. So I think just kind of getting that out, and obviously like the energy here is always amazing. Us being able to celebrate BG being back, but also us like ready to compete. I think everybody was locked in and focused. That's been something that we're very committed to, is staying bought in and trusting the process. I think is something that we do well without necessarily talking about it. So we trusted the process in the beginning, even with like a slow start, and we found our way in the rhythm of the game, and everyone found their moments and we were able to make great runs.
You guys talk a lot about, the culture and the training camp and just the new vibes around the team. I'm just curious how you felt like having heard on the bench and what sort of presence you brought to you guys today.
Yeah, I mean, Kurt is Kurt. We've seen him all camp. He gets really fired up about things that we talked about and that we didn't do, and he's like, "Come on!" Just like that. but it feels good to see it play out in a game. Like I said, we've been working all camp. He came in the locker room and splashed us with water, which is hilarious. Didn't expect that.
Yeah, I did not expect that.
But yeah, I think just obviously like across the board, good team win, share the ball. And I think that's why we won the game. Yeah.
Hi, Madam President, I'm gonna ask about Vice President, Patrick being here. How'd that work out? Did she come talk to you guys?
Yeah.
And then, of course, your thoughts on tonight and BG.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, we had the distinct pleasure and honor of having one-on-one time. Well, it wasn't really one-on-one for a lot of people, but having kind of private time with Madam Vice President and her husband, and it was just, you know, it's just amazing what we do, the experiences of what we do offers us. You know, it was kind of one of those moments where you never would believe that you know, being in the same room as one of the leaders of our country. And then especially so because she's a part of the administration that allowed us to play against BG tonight. So that I don't take that lightly at all. And I hope that BG felt the love, because everybody's so happy to have her back and to be able to have a major part of the administration who helped bring that back, and who we kind of, you know, educated ourselves from and helped forge a relationship to be able to not just bring her home, but advocate for more, was really, really special.
Obviously the win was great. I'm sure you'll celebrate it tonight, but have 2 games against Vegas coming up, and many people think obviously they're the defending champs and they stack up even more with Parker and other acquisitions. Mentally, how do you prepare for that team, and what are the challenges Vegas provides in another game coming up on Thursday?
Oh, Thursday, wow, that's in like 6 days. So I prepare by having an off-day mom. That's the first step, but to rest. But no, realistically, you know, I think we're gonna see like what we did well and what we can improve on. And I mean, at this point, you know, this is gonna be, I guess, like a scout. Like, we haven't seen anything from them, so we're gonna hit the tapes and see what we can do to be ready for Thursday.
For Carly, you know, remember when we last spoke, you know, you talked about how you know, you're just soaking everything in from training camp, you know, bringing good vibes and all of that as you're trying to make the team. You know, despite everything that happened this week, here we are, opening day, you're on the roster. You know, and not only that, but contributed, you know, in a big way to a big win. Just, you know, what's that feeling like, you know, after all of that, knowing that, you know, you got into the game, you know, you contributed and stuff, I guess, you know, is that kind of like a, not, I guess, a vindication, almost like, you know, I know I've been playing this league, you know, somebody who knows how tough it is to make the roster.
Yeah, I think, like I told you in camp, I don't take any moment for granted. The W is the hardest team professional league to make. I know it's truly an honor to play like with NECA's MVPs of the league out there on the court guarding Diana, BG's first game. I never dreamt of myself playing, but I've known over the past couple of years I do belong in the league and I can play. And a lot of people that aren't in the league also belong and can play. I think it's a lot about opportunity, right timing, health of your body, a little bit of luck. So I just think taking advantage of those moments, however they come. I know I tweeted that I'm like trying to grasp a roster spot with the zombie, but it's hard to get a roster spot in this league, and it's important to not take advantage of it. And really, I think all the women in this league that are playing know that, and that's why people play so hard.
I'm gonna do 2 more in person and 1 on Zoom.
This question is for both of you. Congratulations on the win. What do you think it says about your team that you could be down by 11 points early and then end up winning the game down more than 20?
I mean, I think it's really a part of like the identity that we've established early on. You know, Kurt really was adamant about us being selfless and us being prepared. And so I would say that we were prepared tonight, but I don't think that we were necessarily like ready at the start the way we wanted to be. But holding ourselves accountable and using that connectedness that we really lean on, I think allowed us to not get too high, not get too low, and then sustain that. And then also really find and feel what was working throughout the game. And it's really, it's the coaching, it's the people on this team, and it's all of us like just buying into the process. And I love that, you know, I almost felt like we were playing like games within games, you know? And it's fun to like kind of understand the cadence of the game and helping each other get in spots and helping each other look good. And I think that's kind of why we were able to come out of that and then also kind of push forward.
I was just gonna say that Kurt talked about right before the game. One, it's the first game, everyone's got nerves. But two, it's a game of runs. It's, you know, not falling down when the other team goes on a run, and sustaining your own. So yeah, we're down 11 at the start, but game of runs.
Nick, you said that Isaiah was surprised when things didn't go well. Do you think that was just a product of how well things went for her in college? That she just used to things going well, or is that something else?
I think like, so like generally, not even just like on the court, like she's so green to so much. And so, I mean, I think that it's a combination of how she was raised, the school she went to, the coach that coached her, and the person that she is and the player that she is. And that was the intention of who we brought into camp. And it started with her as our first draft pick out of this draft. And so it's just really fun, like seeing like her eyes light up in certain situations. I'm like, oh girl, we just got here. But I love the innocence. I really do. And I love that she is herself on the court. And she wants to win. And I really, really love that.
And we'll open it up to one question on Zoom.
Hey, Mark Schindler from WNBA.com. First of all, congrats on the win tonight, guys. Nneka, I wanted to ask you, just, you know, watching this team compared to last year, the pace that you guys played within the half court, it really stuck out tonight in the way with how you guys were getting into sets, especially later on in the game. And it felt like Lexi Brown played a huge part in that and what she opened up with her movement shooting. I was wondering if you could speak a little bit on her and, you know, what she brought to you guys tonight.
Yeah, I mean, we see Lexi every day in practice, and she's like a gamer. She just is always wanting to be out there and wanting to just be in the game. I guess like using my perspective on Lexi and using that to kind of like shed some light on tonight. Lexi, I think, is at like an inflection point in her career. I think that she's always known that she's good and she is good. But this is where it's like you turn from good to great. And I think that she's stepping into what I think requires to be great is a vulnerability. You know, you have to be vulnerable to take a hard shot. You have to be vulnerable to keep shooting when it's not going in, knowing that you are the right person to take the shot. And I see that kind of slowly happening with her. And she is, she's a key to the team in that way. And also I think that's a key to her mentality as now like a 6-year vet and how she wants to establish herself permanently in this league.
Awesome. Thank you so much. I appreciate it.
Thank you.
Awesome. Thank you, media.
Thanks,
you,
everyone.
Carly and Nneka. Thanks.
Yeah, we're good. Let's look at that. Yeah, it's good. Like well, time to, I don't know, 65 years. Yeah, I mean, we've got a lot of work together. Like the music. You can practice as much as you want, but a game is a game, and it's you know, a step back and something that we want to do, a step forward. You know, going into Sunday, you know, it's something that we need to shore a little bit, and we certainly are making for them.
Front row. Joseph didn't deal with guarding. I mean, 2 questions for you guys. First, how is the atmosphere on the team now? How different is it from last year when Brittany was still on running? And secondly, how different is she as a person as a result of her experience in the show?
I mean, yeah, last year we had a really good visit. That was, you know, uncharted waters for a lot of us. It was not just any ordinary, you know, type of situation. There was so much
political talking that we kind of left the middle line. But like I always said, the one I had in the heart was when he was doing the bid. Free, you got to go to work every day, but that's what. She's great, she's a good spirit. Got to be able to ask her, she probably has a better understanding of that.
Front row.
Diane, it's a huge name, Kamala Harris, it's cute, and I've done little events, speaker here in LA, and it's speaker being introduced.
I mean, she's pretty amazing, the position been able to be honest, being Southern California, and put one side and on them. And, you know, it's pretty cool for her to come show her support. Obviously, we have to put a lot of gratitude and thank a lot of people that, you know, made this all happen. So, you know, it took a lot of effort from a lot of people, especially the people in our government. To get you guys, so. Whatever you think,
Right here, third row.
Yeah, Diane, I think you took away another game on Sunday. Do you feel like after Sunday and Sunday, getting to that whole opener, everything will beat you, will it settle down a little bit? Do you think will be good both for you guys?
Yeah, I think so. I think, you know, when we get back, hopefully, things will get back to normal. Maybe they'll never be normal again, but maybe this is normal.
We're there, just a couple more.
How much is not having so be available to you guys are doing on this? Who's voting? You know, I think a big part of, you know, any team, you take a part of a team that's, you know, that's integral to the things that we well, offensively, defensively, you know, having a shooter in the Carly, when we make shots, there always a lot of things for, you know, for the rest of the group. So I mean, not having some huge and hopefully she'll get back on the court soon, Mr. Today, and finish it putter.
Last one.
Over there, last one.
Not, I'm gonna say it last year. Yeah, but obviously the these colleagues, and so much sort of pressure, get her back, do you sort of feel like, because, you know, they did a good job, but you know what I mean? Yeah, I think we might see, you know, work there. I mean, so you guys, I mean, work tirelessly to make sure all the things were in place at certain times. I mean, we know how all these things work in government. Or we don't. Barrier. But, you know, there were a lot of plans in place to make sure that at certain times, you know, we really press hard. Hopefully helped, you know, get you back, so we're thankful and happy to shoot back and then, you know, get back. So
All right, we have another player joining us.
Oh, no.
All right, first question right here in the blue. Go next.
Hey, bring the Ellie off the by right over here.
Front row.
Ellie off the by was 68 seed. So last time we spoke after the season game, you weren't too happy with your performance. What's your assessment of this performance for you? And then also just feeling the crowd, feeling the energy again, a full regular season game.
So whatever I did out there, you know, it was nice to be back for a real game and everything. That's the love from the fan came out with amazing players. You know, definitely feel it. Definitely, I felt it when I was over there still. Coach that reached out, getting it was nice, but one was just was good enough.
Is this, were you raising your hand? Oh, no. All right, then we'll go over here.
Hey, awesome to see you back. Just Did you know Mom was coming tonight and was it just cool to talk to her being rather supportive?
Yeah, no, it was amazing. It was amazing. I caught wind of it, you know, I think, it's like evening. But when I found out, I was really happy. Then we get to speak at the correspondent dinner that I was going to the kids. See her face to face, we're thank her for everything. Well, and then the team really enjoyed it too.
Front row.
Joseph DeLeo, the Guardian. Brittany, how are you feeling physically? As you're getting back into this, are there certain benchmarks that you want to hit at certain aspects of the season? And if so, what could it be? And beyond that, how different are you as a person because of what you experienced in Russia? How have you changed or have you?
Well, throughout the season, I think about All-Star, those All-Star, thinking, you know, exactly where I want to be. You know, not having to limit my minutes or, you know, being able to play. I don't regret this, but, you know, being able to play 4 minutes. So, you know, just getting back to, you know, how I was before all this happened. I would really be happy if that happened before I started. And different, I appreciate everything for the part. All the little small moments that I'm so tired, I don't want to go to practice today or that. I think that has changed, honestly, you know, just appreciating everything because, you know, all my guaranteed, I know what it look like, but that's how it changed a little bit. A lot of familiar faces, still a lot older too.
All right, second row.
Elise Preston, PBS Mornings. What was going through your mind as they just said your name, introducing you to fans back for the first time this season?
It was just slow emotions, just hearing it. Think you know, parents that go along. So just taking it in, but the same focus because at the end of the day, on that work, I had a job. I get caught up in it in the moment, you know, and kind of feel it, but it's aside a little bit later.
Sixth row on the right.
ABG, Jesse Morrison, the next. In the late fourth quarter, we really kind of got to go up for something or twisting your ankle or whatever. I just wondered what happened on that play and are you okay?
Which one? The one to the face or the one after that?
The one to the chin, yeah.
So be back to when I was playing soccer. Getting kicked in the chin is kind of fun. Just that's how the, you know, part of the game, that's how the chin to it, and so that was great.
To the left here in the aisle.
That's probably a great so, I know you've been staying in the national preseason. What went into your decision to start staying because the last time you were Mercury about him were pretty consistent as you.
Yeah, you know, one good thing about the country is, you know, you got to write a post that you have the right to speech, to be able to speak out and question, challenge, do all these things. And, you know, what I went through and everything just means a little bit more to me now. So I want to be able to stand, you know, literally in cage and could not stand the way I want to. A lot of other different situations. So just being able to hear my national anthem, see my flag, definitely stand. And everybody that is, you know, that will not stand and not come out, I totally support them 100%. You know, fight the good cause and, you know, nothing to that should not for anybody. You know, that's our right. That's America. It's a great country. But it, you know, sometimes when it doesn't go the way other people wants to go, get everyone unfair or something like that, actually I think makes you more American. Because you're right.
Also on the left. Was you? Yeah.
Hi, especially Roberts, Washington Post. Was there moments, you know, during your frustration where you doubted or just felt extremely pessimistic that you would ever be back here? can you speak about, you know, like the work that you are back here and you're the first game of the season in 2023? Just talk about that a little bit.
I'm happy to be back. Very happy to be back. And when you're in a situation that look at it, be personal, look at it, work at scenario. So I think both of them. So happy to be here, elaborate on that a little bit more.
Oh, they're on the right?
You did see it. You mentioned sort of hope. You know, do you feel like there's been skill hopes with the families and those who are still want to retain? Feel that's possible.
Athletes, they're not good at it on being probably not very in and using it for good. I'm in a good position where I have all covering the game, hopefully see more see covering the game, start from but athletes that are still on spike, I hope they show that it's possible, and a lot of people put a lot to do on their game. And any chance that I get to be a part, be able to share information that we have about that, both football and other shows, we're doing that and go on roads.
Two more questions?
You didn't have a base now in terms of international, how that affected your day to day.
I mean, can't really go anywhere about it seems, but it's to say, I kind of got to know this already anyway. I mean, some things have changed. Some things are the same. Just roll with it, honestly, just roll with it. Yeah, it's just a little more coverage. So that's a probably great, especially with our name. Hopefully, everybody that's in town to see us and somebody else be another thing. Young, a little more seasoned, and doesn't matter. Hopefully, as a frank more weeks again.
We're here, and then maybe one more after that.
Maybe so first part of basketball and stuff, WNBA,
Just get back into it, I'm going so long without doing anything. I mean, it's hard just taking a break, but it's been season when we're having a long time. I thought it was when I came back, but to get used to getting your wind back, stability, all the little things that go into it that seems so easy for so long. Being a little bit harder, but it's been great. It's been healing. I was getting back to it, getting back to the craft. So,
Last question.
If you have a city, I feel like you can really need to get like more talking right. How many do not use your community day that it's just a little awesome not being we're very angry for this. How do you manage to go back there?
yeah, no, I mean, I don't think I look too bad, honestly, about it, but I mean, I'm competitive. I mean, throw paper, trash, playing the game. It doesn't matter. I'm competitive. I don't want to lose. So I don't think I lost that. It doesn't matter what extent of the game. You don't ever lose that. So I still have that burn. Great. So we'll be back. Watch the film, enjoy it back, and do whatever Sunday wants to happen.
Thanks, BJ.
Coach is coming.
Hey, Coach, Ellie on the box, Sports 360 is so obviously not the result you were hoping for, but when it came to the obviously improvements, but silver linings for the word kind of one of those three.
Well,
of course, Greg got to be younger, so I think that's a great positive. I thought we started well, really competitive there at the beginning. She was a couple of rotation players right now. And kind of have some youth, but really I thought the difference games for us are turnovers. I can remember it's part of the game at any level of 19 turnovers. That was almost getting 59 shots, I think I said 53. So it's hard. You gotta have a really high percentage of the other teams getting, 20 some more 25 shots. So that was a long time.
Cassandra Nagby with the office sports here. Dad was asked about going back on Sunday to your house and what the atmosphere would be like with all these things on PG. She made a comment that she's not sure if normal is normal anymore. What do you think that would look like?
I mean, today definitely wasn't normal. Yeah. We're still a basketball team. We still have a job, which is to represent the city of Phoenix, play great basketball. We're trying to win these games. So there's a lot of things going on that I think are really positive, but we have to stay within our group, our bubble, stay focused on what's most important, which is getting better and helping them great wins. So I'm sure there'll be a lot of different things going on, and my job is to keep the team focused on the main thing. And the main thing is preparing the games and doing our best in those games.
Hey, Coach, Jesse Morrison for the next.
I know you probably thought there'd be a good reception for PG, but that was really good reception for PG for visiting crowd. Is that kind of what you expected from tonight's crowd, or did that exceed your expectations?
I mean, it was great. Honestly, come on, we saw the arena for PG. I expected more. To be honest, right? It was great. It was loud, but how was it not a sellout? How was it not a sellout? But it was great. It was I like when the team cheers for my players. So I enjoyed that part. So that was great. And it was great. The people that came out here to support the Spark, but also to support me and our team, and great in them. And I hope they come back and watch a lot more basketball. I hope the Sparks had access to the race this year.
Elise Preston, CBS Mornings. You last season never stopped mentioning BG. You would always mention how many days she had been gone. Other players, other coaches across the league never let the country, never let the world forget what was going on. What is the message there that this league really pushed to bring this issue to the forefront?
Yeah, I mean, in general, we get 5% it's for last year. It's great. So we get 5% of the media coverage, and so to have our voices heard, our players are always very local. Our league is always at the forefront of saying for the things that are important. And when one of their sisters was in this predicament, this terrible situation, they used their voice and they amplified it, and used every connection they could, everything they could to bring attention to it. And I think it did make a difference. From today, having the vice president coming in. I think it was the voices of the WNBA, the fans of the WNBA, that finally got to the Biden administration and said, you know what? Let's make this happen. And I'm proud to be a part of this league. I came to work in this league. One of the main reasons was because of the players and who they are and what they stand for, and wanting to develop, they can do better and to support its growth. So yeah, I think our players are the most socially conscious, well-rounded humans, professional athletes you're going to meet. We'll do 2 more.
Coach, how's Brittany feeling physically? Because it looked like she was exhausted when she got off the court. 5 minutes plus the fourth quarter. Are there certain benchmarks that you would like to see her hit, or that she would like to hit as the season goes on? And how do you measure the progress physically at this point going forward?
Yeah, those are all great questions, and I don't really think I'm going to say ask the right answer because no one's ever had a player with that in your position. So we're doing our best to manage it. Each kid's holding put whatever you want me in the game. put me in the game, whatever you need to do, I'm gonna do, and I think Dave's that way to get her back to her physical peak by just playing the games. The good news is we got 40 of them this year, 39 more in our regular season. So really, we're just having conversations with her about these physically. You know, she took a couple hits in the game, she always takes his. So I think that in practice, she probably hasn't had that, so that'll be a big adjustment, but I don't think we're looking at any particular benchmarks, but I think the more games she gets, it's gonna be flow for her. She's been active, they used to play year round without a break for, I don't know, 10 years. And so having, 10 months a year to have off of liver and I think that it's gonna be mostly games, it's gonna be.
Last question.
Hey, Coach, good job again.
Okay.
I wanted to ask you, you guys got off to such a fast start today. I just want to know, what do you think it's that fast start on both sides of the ball?
Yeah, I thought we were executing well and players were really focused. We were sharing the ball well at that point, and we were getting some stops. I think we can improve on both sides of the ball. I mentioned the 19 turnovers, but we only forced them into 6. So there's opportunity there, and I think it needs to be more aggressive, changing up our defense. And that's on the coaches, but I think defense is effort and so the fast start, I think, was the energy of the building, the excitement, all those things. DG's first came back. We're looking for on Sundays to maintain that for 4 quarters.
Thanks, Coach.
Yep. Thanks. All right, and y'all, this is the latest media session.